All right, everybody, we are live, and I am here with my friend, my sister, master teacher, Shaninah Draughn, who is the CEO and president of Build, Reach, Teach, and she has over 15 years, y'all. So listen, this is a master teacher, and y'all need to understand how education works. So when we got levels to this, so you come in, you have proficiency, and then you move to a level of mastery. Okay, and
Mm,
so when you reach a level of mastery, you not only have demonstrated that you have love for your craft as
mm.
a teacher, you have demonstrated that you have love for your students, and so you
Yeah.
can be a master and have certain wisdom over your content area. So my educator, y'all know what I'm talking about, but your content area. You can have mastery over your content area, but you have yet to build a rapport and relationship with your students. And it's demonstrated with love. So
Yes.
when your students are hitting those impossible benchmarks and you're making a way out of no way with just a chalk and a dream,
Hey.
this is how you know. This is how you know you have become a master teacher, because a master teacher
Yes.
loves the student, and it's palpable. You can feel that. And so with over 15 years of experience of developing, implementing, creating diverse and positive programs in education and community settings, her exceptional leadership skill will train and supervise and evaluate staff to work with students' families on their academics and emotional development. It has been her experience that students and staff miss an opportunity to grow together in crises. And this is exactly where we are.
Mm-hmm.
So she wants to train, develop, and support teachers, parents, school leaders in this process. So build, reach, teach, equips teachers, parents, and leaders to succeed in the classroom and home. And our students want to
Yes.
know that someone cares beyond their grades. Hello, somebody.
Yes.
So
Hello to Beyond the Grade.
oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining us. And so I just want to center for people, why in the middle of a like, why now? So why are you having this? Because what you do and what you're offering, we'll talk more about your app and how it came to be, is that across the board, if you're an educator, directly, you're a school leader, you're a student, you're a
Yes.
parent, you're an after school provider, we're in a pandemic. We're in a different way now. And so
Yes, we are.
put on has been put on the back end, and we have to bring this to the forefront. And you and I were talking in our virtual green room a bit about trauma,
Yes.
right? We were talking
Mhm.
about trauma and how it's all compounded. So, Shaninah, I would love for you to share with us the vision of Build, Reach, Teach, and how it came to be, and why you feel that it is so important that now more than ever, students, parents, faculty, all are taking care of their mental and emotional health.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. I appreciate you, my sister. Always being there for the sisterhood. Had a great opportunity to work with you on the Power of Girlhood, just seeing you lead beyond just, I'm here for you, but leading with the heart. And, that's where I'll start. When you're in leadership, especially with education, you have to think about your heart. How would you want to be treated in this situation? And so Bill Reach Teach came about. I see not only students struggling, but I see that teachers are struggling to reach the children that we serve, particularly in the urban communities that we're working with every day, that's dealing with not only just loss and trauma, but also this whole idea of what is school for? How is this going to help me? We got kids coming to school every day, not seeing the purpose in learning. And so Build, Reach, Teach came about. First, you have to build, meaningful relationships.
That's right.
And then you can reach those students. And only at that point, then you can teach them. And so I think sometimes in our education institution, we ready to teach. We want to give all this content. And we have to
Mhm.
understand that you've talked about this over and over. It starts in the heart. What I feel is what I will see and do. If you have all these things, I don't care about that until I know how much you care about me. And so
That's
when
right.
I speak to teachers and school leaders and my own students, I'm like, What is your vision? What do you want for your life? Let's start there. And if you can see it, and this is something that you have talked about, and that's why the summit is so amazing. Check it out, please. If you can see it, you can believe it. You cannot continue to be just going in and out of your life and you're not reaching towards anything. And so many times we're just giving kids paper, just pouring into what we want them to believe. But we're not giving them the content so that they can live their lives and be the strong-minded individuals. So for me, Bill Reese teaches about reaching beyond, the paper and curriculum. We need that paper and curriculum, but that social emotional learning is critical to the overall moving forward. And I hope with this pandemic and even with remote learning, we start to move towards shifting our thinking and how we go about educating our students and supporting our teachers in the classroom.
Absolutely. Says, and when I say that this is so, I mean, even before the pandemic, I mean, let's just be honest. Our babies, when I say our babies, I'm talking about Black and brown babies, were at a deficit.
At a deficit.
Under-resourced, under-provided for, under-acknowledged. So now we want to add this additional layer onto, again, this generational trauma that has been unaddressed. I feel that what you're offering with Build, Reach, Teach is also helping to repair the breach.
Yes. Come on now.
Because it was already broken.
Listen, and if you don't start to repair what is broken, it only gets worse. This is why the healing process, not only did, for our students that are dealing with the trauma, if we don't start this healing, this is what we see in the streets. You would say, well, why do they act this way? I don't understand why people are doing this. Because we never decided to activate and trigger, baby, what's going on with your heart? How can I meet you where you're at? What's wrong with you today? Not just throw a piece of paper and say, turn to page 29, I need you to do this. And expect them to actually say, okay, come on now. You won't want anybody to come to you. We have to start acknowledging people as human beings and not so much about human doing. It's always human doing. We need human beings. We need to connect on how you doing today. And, teachers do build relationships with their students, but it's hard for them to go in depth, some of that soul searching, deep rooted, understanding your purpose stuff, because they're bombarded with all the expectations of testing, assessing, paperwork. There's so many politic layers that they can't really get to the heart of teaching because they have all of these political. You'll get money if you do this, and right. Okay. And so teachers are stressed out because they can see a student struggle, but I got to get through this math lesson. You know what I mean?
Got to make AYP.
Come on now. Curriculum becomes the focus, and your social well-being of a student and even of teachers becomes secondary.
That's right.
And it's the human field. Teachers and students connect because they love to learn. And if you don't have a love for learning, how are you going to really build and reach and teach your students?
That's it. And curriculum, and what I love about what you're offering is that it's culturally competent. There's a sense of cultural humility built into the ethos of this app and what you're teaching, because when you go into a lot of these urban environments, they'll bring all these teachers in from all over the country and maybe train them for 8 weeks and then plop them into a classroom somewhere, and there's not an understanding of the culture.
And
so
unfortunately, what happens that those particular teachers, because they're lacking the culture competency to be able to deal with some of the issues, they have complete meltdowns, okay, to the point where they cannot handle some of the things that the students are doing, and it really hurts the students because in the end, the students don't end up learning. And so what are we doing? We're just continuing to recycle some of these same old tools. People need to know people for who they are.
That's right.
This is why restorative justice and restorative circles are back, They used to do that way back in the 60s and 70s. It's finally coming back because suspensions were so ridiculous in the last 5 years in Michigan that they're like, it's not working. You sending kids home for what? They're not learning. So now
And
we're
then when
talking.
they're not coming back. So you
Come
didn't
on
send me out, and you have to look at the whole connection. So if I'm coming to school with my brother, sister, and so now that I'm not coming to school, this has now disrupted the whole household and the flow of things. And so what, you suspended her for what? Oh, some leggings. You couldn't
come
give
on,
her a t-shirt
come
or a
on.
sweatshirt to wrap around her waist and just keep it moving. We're really gonna have a whole fight about this.
Hmm.
And so we're setting it up, and you already know about the school to
Yes.
prison pipeline. So we're just feeding the machine more of what it wants, more of what it needs, because we're not taking the time. There's a reason why. What if that was the only clean thing that they had?
Come on.
Because they
Absolutely.
couldn't get to the. We're assuming that you have a washer and dryer in the home.
Right.
A lot of
Absolutely.
assumptions that we're making, but the fact that they are here, that they just made it into the building, we can work everything else out.
And that is the key. The fact that they're in the building shows the effort. It is your job as the administrative team, as the teacher, as the school leader to make it work.
That's right.
And so many times there's all these different barriers that we put on other people, including teachers. And so the point of the planning app, the planning period app, it
Mm-hmm.
was for me to grab a tool where teachers could have it in the palm of their hand from a cell phone to be able to say, you know what, I'm having a moment right now. I need to go to on their toughest teaching days where they can go to an app and it has all kinds of different features where they can get resources that are meaningful, which really focuses not only just content, but it focuses on that social emotional support. Our teachers need their own social emotional support. And so we're giving a lot of support towards the kids, which we should, but we need to make sure that teachers are prepared to take care of other people's children.
That's right.
And many times they're just overwhelmed. And we've seen this over and over. You know that the teaching field right now is short. And we are overwhelmed with losing teachers by the thousands every year. It's not getting any better. And so this whole app piece came from me. I'm like, well, Lord, because I'm a woman of faith. What
Come
can
on.
I do to help them realize that they're not alone?
That's
And
right.
I know that there's tons of apps out there, but there isn't an app that really focuses on teacher social emotional growth and
Mm-hmm.
helping them pull from resources where they can have it. There's apps about classroom management, apps about, how to build this or how to do this. But this is really focused on the teacher and how we can support them. And
Because
so,
that aspect has never been in any review in your evaluation. So privy insight for you all. Teachers get reviewed. They get reviewed. They usually
mm,
typically get reviewed twice a year to track their growth. But there's nothing on the rubric to talk about your overall social well-being. Like, how is your emotion? What are you doing for your self-care? Like, that piece isn't baked into the
it's not.
evaluation, or even tools given to help you with that. So what, we might get teacher appreciation day, but aside from that, there isn't a whole lot that's
No.
provided for the social emotional pieces of our teachers. And I know this, Dean Draughn, you spend so much time with these students that they call you mom or auntie, because the relationships, you're there with them, sometimes 12 hours a day, because if they stay
Yes.
after school,
School. Yes, indeed.
you
Yes,
know
indeed.
my whiteboard got spotless because I had maybe
So
10
they had just
visitors
packed it away,
sweeping.
white
You're
board.
right. Well, like, well, if you're gonna do this here, you go over here and sweep, you wipe down the board, put my do
Right,
now up for tomorrow, like, this is yours. So everybody got
right.
jobs, you gonna
Absolutely.
be here.
That's so
Right.
powerful. That's community.
Yeah.
That's community. And this whole app was trying, and it is bringing teachers together. We're going to have where teachers plan with purpose and care. That's our tagline. Where teachers plan with purpose and care. Not only just, okay, I got to get the lesson plan, but they got to think about themselves. I always tell
Mm-hmm.
teachers what you believe, the core who you are, your values. You bring that to the
Mm-hmm.
classroom. And you could try to act like you don't bring it, but you do. And
That's
when
right.
your cores and values are tested, or when it's strained, is something going on with your family and your school don't really care, those are the kind of things that break teachers down. And as a result, it affects the classroom, because if we don't have healthy, happy, growing teachers, how do you think the students going to be in the classroom?
And they know, students know when there's an off day and you're not quite all there. And I know that with many of our students, especially online now, their cameras are off on Zoom. Let's just be honest.
Absolutely.
They don't have their cameras turned on. So there's no eye contact. There's no contact. And so you're right. Teachers have to get really creative. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're not, I believe everyone is creative, but let's just be honest, some are more creative than
Right.
others. This adaptability, that can be stressful because I don't
Absolutely.
know how to connect with my students in this new way. And so you have this app that is helping them, yes, be creative, but also, again, taking care of their hearts and their pieces. Because you think about your kids on the weekend. For you to be
Yes.
like, okay, this is just a Monday through Friday, or what is it? We only teach, we have winter break, like, no,
Right.
you're still working through all of it.
They
It
really
really
do.
is. Yeah, you work year round.
Yes, you do. And teachers pay for things year round. Teachers give time they don't even have. Teachers take time away from their own family to give to other people's kids. I need people to understand that they sacrifice some of the things that they do personally to help somebody else's child. And so this whole idea with the app is to bring in another layer of support, but also bring an awareness. And that's the thing. We're in an awareness season. We are in an awareness
Mm,
season. And if people don't get what we're doing right now, we're never going to get it right. There was things that I put today on my Instagram page about 3 reasons why teachers are so stressed out. But when I came out of that discussions and I'm talking to the people on Instagram Live, there's some things that has happened in this pandemic that we would have never been able to rough and think about. One, the fact that we realized when we all had to go shut it down and go remotely for the first time. Now, if you living with brown and beautiful brown and black children, you know that there's a deficit in resources. However, that
mhm.
became fully noted when we had kids that could not get regular laptops to learn because that was their learning tool.
That's
You
right.
know,
And you
you
look,
know
we got
that's
some
so
teachers
high.
online here. Shout out to Wendy Lewis, who's over there at Jalen Rose, over at Jalen Rose. Shout out
Come
to
on
Wendy.
now.
Shout out to Benice, who said she was at Walmart today. She had to buy socks for a
Yep.
student that had none on. And that's
Okay.
what it takes.
That's what they do. They don't think of themselves as, oh, I'm just gonna teach. They're providing a service. So in this pandemic, we've had to stretch and be creative, but also teachers and students have had to come together because you can't tell me education can't change. We're learning from home. That means we can learn just about anywhere. You can't tell me
Adapt.
that parents can't step up and work with the teacher. They doing it every day. Listen, real talk. I listen. Some of the parents I ain't seen all year last year, but I see them every day, every other day on the camera. Working with their students, is it frustrating? Absolutely. But I know these parents have a different appreciation for teachers, and they're actually partnering with these teachers. Say, what can I do? I see he's struggling. I don't know what to do. They're asking the right questions. That parent engagement has forced parents to turn up their involvement,
That's
which I
right.
think was so critical in learning together. That goes back to the awareness piece. This pandemic has shined a light on education reform needs to happen now.
Now,
Now.
we knew that it was supposed to happen before. And so for those of you who are listening, tag a teacher, tag an
Come
administrator,
on now.
tag a social worker, tag a paraprofessional, tag the specials teachers, tag some parents, tag everybody, tag the superintendents, because I know I got some folks on my timeline. So tag some superintendents, tag some school leaders, because there is an app here that is going to support the overall well-being, the culture. Because if the teachers are taking it, that's part of the culture. And I know you're a dean, so you know all about culture. We want
Yes,
to create a
indeed.
cultural shift. While we need the educational reform, this is what I know about my Black teachers, my brown teachers, my
Yes.
Latino teachers. Y'all gonna get it. You gonna get it done regardless.
Yes. They listen,
So
regardless.
whether we get a stimulus check or not, and I know some really amazing teachers. I know some amazing white teachers, Asian teachers. Like, look, teachers just get in here and get down. And so you can tell the teachers that really care about their students by, you stop at Walmart. You stop
Yeah.
at Walmart or wherever, and make sure you even have some snacks in your drawer because you know tummies are going to be rumbling. I
Right.
know that I have teachers on these timelines, and I know I've got superintendents under the sound of my voice. I got folks on here on this timeline. Please invest in this app. Invest in Dean Draughn to come in and to do a PD, half day, full day, to come in, because we are in need of a radical way of
Yes.
reimagining our educational system.
Yes.
While we're waiting on our 40 acres and waiting on reform, we still have to get in here and get the job
Absolutely.
done.
Absolutely. And I thank you for that shout out, because we have to start rocking a little bit some of these boats, particularly for our brown and beautiful Black children out here. Because at the end of the day, if we don't speak up, if we don't actually start to create tools that actually work and help them, we're just repeating the same old cycles. And we will continue to lose amazing educators because they're exhausted with the systems. Let's just make it clear. Teachers love their children. This don't have anything about they don't want to teach. I mean, we can tell them to have self-care all day, but at the end of the day, there are systems that are put in place that does not allow teachers to fully get into the zone of teaching at the heart.
That's right.
That has nothing to do with the children. It has everything to do with the institutions. And so what the app provides is another tool to help relieve some of that stress, to give you some immediate videos, resources. I have some mindfulness listening tools on there. There's tons of documents. There's a chat room for teachers to share best practices and resources. So it just gives you a lot of different tools. And yes, I'm more than happy to come in and talk with your staff about mobilizing, embracing change, creating culture and climates that say, I am your teacher. I am accountable for you. You're accountable for me. No excuses.
That's right.
No excuses. You know, we can't keep suspending kids. We can't keep losing children. We have to hold all parties accountable, including the government, the federal government, the Secretary of State. You know, we are seeing right now there is a stretch with teachers even wanting to go full time back in the classroom. You know, Chicago School District is the second biggest district in the United States, and their teacher union is fighting it left and right. That fight with teachers unions, you know, it's sad that we have to have it, but who else protects teachers? You know, so it's so much deeper than, okay, I just want to teach. You just need to meet that assessment. They need to meet these scores. We have to build on what the human capacity is. We're not where we need to be with human capacity. And I said this to you during our green room, we focus so much on humans doing, what can you do for me, that we miss the whole concept of human beings first. They are human beings first. Teachers, students are human beings first. So it goes like this. How are you doing? What can I do for you today? I see you struggling right there. Let me go over here and let me see what I can do to help you. Let me call your mom. We're going to sit down. We're going to have a conversation. Some schools and teachers are doing this. But again, there's certain people that are so overwhelmed, they don't even have the time. You know, we're doing restorative circles. We're doing restorative justice because we're in need of reform. We cannot keep suspending and putting kids at home. It does not help them, you know? And so what are we doing to provide an opportunity for kids to learn? It starts with us really embracing the things we can't change, but also challenging the things that we know that we can do better in our classrooms for our teachers.
That's right. That's right. And so your amazing app, I'll put a link here to your website as well. So, hey, Penny, hey, Risha, is this app full of information for early Head Start and Head Start K-12?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so Risha, that's right. Early Head Start is on there. Hey, Penny. So please, again, oh yeah, hey, Felicia. I went to Felicia. Felicia's now a school leader. I think she's over Henry Ford Academy Elementary School.
Shout out to school leaders. They have pivoted and they've been holding it down. Do you hear me? They have pivoted and really started to dig deep with, okay, let me make it happen. So shout out to school leaders. Love them.
Yep, to the school leadership. So I mean, I love that your curriculum goes the range. Because, let's even just talk about Head Start for just a moment, because, our students, what is it? There's the first 3 years of life of like words that they need to have in their vocabulary so that their reading acquisition and comprehension is there. So let's just even talk a little bit about how impactful preschool and the early Head Start teachers, how critical are they, Shaninah, to education?
They are the stepping stone to everything. I worked in Head Start years ago as a parent coordinator at early Head Start programs. And what we learn is that a lot of times the kids miss the social connection and skills. And so Head Start is critical because it provides the social skills that students need. It provides that regulation, helping them learn how to breathe through their emotions, how to make decisions, how to take on stress and relieve it, how to negotiate relationships, how to problem solve. If you don't get that from 0 to 5, by the time you get to kindergarten, when they come to my campus or campus around the world, we start to see significant behavior issues where it impacts the learning and the growth of a child. So when we're talking about early childhood education, it is a necessity. I don't know why it's not required in our country like they require other grades. They really need those social skills, and they need that human capacity. I love you, you love me. I love to share. I love to care. Come on now. You treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. And so if we have that foundation, and there's tools on the Planning Period app that allow teachers to not only share their strategies, but there's a wonderful tool that allows them to be able to talk it out with one another about, well, what are you doing in your classroom? Because a lot of us have resources, but it's hard for us to streamline because we got a lot of noise in education. People are all over the place telling us what to do. But I find the best educators are teachers, the teachers, peer to peer.
That's right.
That's where they learn the most from each other.
Come on, team teaching.
Listen, team teaching is the best. PLCs are the best. That's when you're getting to the gritty of learning. And so early education is critical all the way up to high school. Because at the end of the day, even though they get bigger, and they still got a lot of deep-rooted emotional issues, and they need love. They might act like they got an attitude, okay? But they need you to tell you.
Stars and stamps still work in the 11th grade.
Come on now.
Stars and stamps. And if you miss it, excuse me, where's my star? And I'm telling you, I don't care if they're 11 years old or they're in the 12th grade. The sticker is still going on the forehead, but it's still an affirmation, though, of validation. You see me. You see me.
Yes.
You see me.
And that is critical, that when someone is seen, when they're heard, they value what you do and say differently. So if you want results from your students, if you want results from your staff, you have to value what they say. And on the app, there's a teacher toolbox where there's tons of resources. You just click and it just lists them all for you. I want them not to have to do the work. I'm pulling every 2 weeks I update it with new videos, new features, new different things. So it's fresh and it gives teachers an opportunity. So download the app. You can download it for free. And then once you get on there, look at it, rate it, share. I would like to see this on the app. I want you to do this on the app. We can build this thing together. It's a new product that just launched. And so it's a tool. It's a building tool. And so when teachers come together, amazing things happen. And sometimes I feel like teachers feel like, oh, I'm just going to do what everybody else tell me, which they do have to listen to other people. But you guys have power within you. Be bold. And that's my thing about teach bold, respond bold, live bold. Come on now. You have the power within you to make changes in your classroom. And I've seen those bold teachers. I've had bold teachers. Listen, Miss Perhenda was a bold teacher in the classroom.
We're not playing these games, I won.
And that's why the kids responded the way they did, because she was going to give them the content, but she was going to keep it real and make those connections to help them understand this is not a game. I'm here to help you, but you're going to have to step it up. We got to get to a point where we start having conversations like that so that the students know what we're doing and how we're going to do it together in the buildings.
That's right. Because we're not an island. And, especially, so shout out to all my 2021 first year teachers. Please get this app because there is no year like your first year of teaching. So, and
Oh,
even
wow.
if you are right, you remember, I remember my first year teaching, but there is no, look, you will get through it. Just get over that that first year. But here's an app. I didn't have this app my first year teaching. And let me tell you, my first year teaching, I came in January, and I think they had 3 other teachers before me, and they just knew that, okay, we're gonna crack her.
I know, right? It's so sad, like an initiation period. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. So I came in January of my first year of teaching. So it was like a whole like whirlwind of course getting used to the students, but also like this is my first year of teaching. So I just want people to understand the levels, because your heart has to be in this. We're not doing this because we get paid a lot of money. Okay. And again, a lot of times we're under resourced. I remember in one school I was in, we got 3 reams of paper a month.
Wow. Y'all was really, listen, that's the struggle bus right there.
Yeah. We were on 3 reams of paper a month, and that was it. And so, you might have to like talk to a friend or somebody like, hey, did you use your paper?
And that's why I say teachers buying supplies all the time, and it's really sad, but they gonna do what they got to do to make it happen. And on my app, there's tons of resources with me doing one-to-one coaching, especially if you're a first-year teacher.
Yeah, so let's talk about the coaching piece, how critical that is, as a teacher.
Critical.
Yeah.
You need feedback. And one of the things I do with coaching is not so much about how you can change your classroom, it's how can you connect to the classroom. I find that a lot of times teachers have their content, they understand their curriculum, they know how they want to handle things, but it gets harder when you start to get in that classroom with those 20, 25 kids. Those are 25 different personalities, different ways of walking, different lifestyles, and you're the person that they're going to take out everything on, good, bad, or indifferent. And so when you're in that, how do you connect with the classroom? Number one, to build community, but also engagement. Our students are sometimes just bored in class, and I can't say it the other way. They're just
bored.
And I'm not saying teachers need to jump whistles and come up with all these different games and activities, but just having the right questions to ask a student in content, just putting on the right videos and coming up with discussion pieces with that project-based learning can take that class engagement to the next level. And so we talk about that in coaching. What is your goal? And what 3 action steps can you do to get there? And you start small. You can have a classroom with a bunch of issues, but at the end of the day, if you build on one goal and just start making that progress, the kids will see that because it will be consistent. Consistency goes a long way with students. Our students are smart. They know when you just kind of like blowing it off and you're not prepared. Let's just make that clear. So if you don't take your content serious, if you don't take the community serious, don't think they're going to show up and take it serious. That whole, are you ready to learn? We do that whole moving of the clips. Are you ready to learn? I always tell teachers, are you ready to teach? Because if you're not ready to teach the students at the level where you can push yourself and meet the needs of your class, in that coaching session, I talk about what is it going to take for you to meet and connect the needs? Because again, if you don't meet the needs, you're not going to be able to teach.
That's right.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, people just want to go ahead and crack up to the math book. You'll get there, but you got to build momentum. You have to build communication. You have to build tools in your tool belts to say, as soon as you do start that teaching, they start to listen because you've built all that positive framework that it's like, oh, I got to listen to her. Oh, I got to listen to him. Then they take you. It's like they take you to a place where they want to learn because they understand that you have their best interests.
That's right.
I get teachers like, well, they should know. Listen, people are based off relationships and trust. If they don't know you and don't trust you, again, you can say a million beautiful things in your lesson plan. It's not going to matter.
It's not. And so as we're navigating this new space, come on, you all, you can check out Build, Reach, Teach. You can check out the app. It's on the App Store. It's real easy to download.
Yep,
Download the app.
the planning period. It'll come up on Apple and Google Play, and as well as it's on my website as well, buildreachteach.com.
And you can download this app. So please don't leave empty-handed. And like I said, I know our parents, our teachers, like we're all a community and we're all going to get through this together. We have to do this together.
Yes.
And here's a tool here that can help support you do that. We did get somebody here who wanted to know about your mentoring and coaching.
Yes.
So how can we best reach you for mentoring, coaching, facilitating, all of the things that you do? How can we get in touch with you?
So listen, you just go straight to my website, www.buildreachteach.com. And you can sign up for a session. I have a Groupon deal going on for 1 hour session. It's under $30. It's for me, it's affordability for teachers, and I don't make it expensive because I have a mass market of teachers. So I'm not going to break your pocketbook for us to have a conversation to be able to build on something you're already doing. It's not that teachers are not doing the work. They have to be able to focus in their work, right? They have to be able to build on what they're doing and be consistent in it. And then when you start seeing growth in that, then you can add on other pieces. Sometimes they're trying to do 50 things at one time. It's not effective. And so in that session, we talked about what is most important and how we're going to connect to that. So definitely go on. You can sign up on the session and book online. Right now, they're all virtually. I send you a link and we just get at it. We just have real talk. You know what? It's an opportunity for you to talk about how you feel, what you think, what you want, what you believe. Okay, no judgment, no heat. And then we take all of that and we say, okay, take a deep breath. Here we go. We got to get a plan together, right? Because it's okay to vent. It's okay to feel the way you feel. But you know, like I know, like ancestors have done it before us. Somebody got to do this work. And they had their moments. Don't get me wrong, out in the fields, out in here. But when they got together, they came up with a plan, an action plan that was going to change the way they were, the way they were being treated and the way they connected with their communities. It's no different. We have the framework. We just got to work together and we have to support one another. We have to right now.
Yes. Well, look, Shaninah, Dean Draughn, Bill, out here. I am so grateful that we could spend this time together. I haven't seen you in a month on a Sunday, but I just knew that I wanted to support you.
Thank you so much.
See the work that you're doing and how needed it is. And, I know you're a woman of faith, and I know that you're doing what God has told you to do, shaking up and press down for his purpose, put it on the inside of you to do this work. And I just want to thank you for saying yes, because that's the other thing. It's a calling. It's a calling to.
It is a ministry. Don't give me the shouting on that one, because I'm telling you, changing a life comes from within. It's a soul searching thing. You have to be able to work through that thing. Yes.
Yes. And so I'm just so happy that I can have you. Like, even though I've transitioned out of class, I'm still, with the work.
Oh,
so
yes.
what you're doing still applies.
Are you serious right now? You are a teacher forever.
Like, look, the way I've been initiated, baby, listen.
Right now,
you ain't taking my car. That's right. Yeah, at the core, absolutely. Yes. Still, I will always or forever be a teacher. And I just love our young people. I just love them so much. And see their potential and their brilliance and just want to be there for it. So just thank you for what you're doing to pour back into us and to pour back into the community. So again, I love that you all have chimed in here. Risha and Leslie and Benice and Wendy. So please just, again, I'm going to repost this and reshare it. Take this information, but we need it. This is much needed. And this is a free resource, and coaching is expensive. So for what I'm like, yes, because it's an investment. Coaching is an investment, but I just believe in what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all. So you guys go download the app. If you can see it here, it just has a planning period there. And look forward to hearing your feedback. And I just want to thank all the teachers and educators. You all are amazing. You're doing amazing, amazing work. And I know people thank you all the time, but I have a child that's in school, and I know the sacrifices that you make. And so thank you so much. Anything I can do to support you through your journey, I am here.
That's right. That's right. And anything that I can do as well. I love supporting fellow entrepreneurs, particularly other women of color entrepreneurs, because that too is a calling. And,
Mm-hmm.
and we all need support. So we can only do this together. That is the only way that this thing works, is if we do it together. So again, Shaninah, thank you for joining us, and I'll continue to share you as a resource.
Thank you so much.
Because what you're doing is making a huge difference. So thank you all for tuning in so much, for taking time out this evening to check in. But I just felt that this was super important. We need this kind of information to make our lives better. So thank you, Shaninah.
Thank you for having me on. You have an amazing, amazing evening. Bye, you
You
all.
as well. Bye.